Whoever you are, wherever you may be, this is a story for you, or all those endowed with the spirit of a vagabond. There's beauty and graciousness in architecture and in life where we travel. It's dingy, too, in some ways, though, with its honky-tonk atmosphere. They call it, and not without good reason, the Paris of America. For here, once a year, occurs the carnival of a lifetime, with enough gaiety and pageantry to make it the greatest show on earth. There's much, much more to see, though, and learn in this great melting pot of the Midwest. Located on the mighty Mississippi, it served as the guardian of our mid-continent during wartime, the gateway to Latin America in peacetime. So eat, drink, and be merry is the unofficial motto of this great southern metropolis. Join us and see why as Vagabond goes to New Orleans for Mardi Gras.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Vagabond. I'm Bill Burrud. Now, this mask is symbolic of one of the really great events in our country every year, Mardi Gras time. Where's Mardi Gras located? Well, New Orleans is famous for its Mardi Gras, because here at the great confluence of the Mississippi and the Gulf of Mexico is New Orleans. Now, the city of New Orleans stands for many things to many different people. Of course, the beautiful streets, the interesting things that you can see. But every year, when Mardi Gras comes, the city goes wild with excitement, with fun, and all kinds of things. Yes, New Orleans means fun, excitement, and romance. So join us then, as we take you to New Orleans at Mardi Gras time.
New Orleans has the largest metropolitan area of the Deep South, with a population of some 800,000. The third largest in area in the entire United States. And it's the kind of a city which intrigues the adventurer, the wanderer, inspires the poet, and lures the tourist. They call it the American Paris. And well they might. For like Paris, this is a city that's worn and old, where stones have been hollowed by the press of feet, where the ancient and old-fashioned gables sag, where doorways, locked so tight, take on the appearance of vaults hiding untold treasures of a glorious past. Old windows, like a pair of tired eyes, stare at the street below. The narrow, twisting street, which may seem just plain ugly to some, but which to others is romantic and exciting. As one of our fellow wanderers explained it, we know these cities, love them well, because they seem to us like old men who grow more feeble and yet more wise with the passage of time, with nothing much to do, but much to tell. And so, we've come to New Orleans to tell you and show you why so many people consider this the most intriguing city in all America. The first church of New Orleans was erected by the founder, Sieur de Bienville, on the site where the present St. Louis Cathedral now stands. While it was the French who founded New Orleans, it was General Andy Jackson, Old Hickory, who for once and for all made New Orleans an American city when he overwhelmingly defeated the superior British forces at the Battle of New Orleans in 1815. In startling comparison, the British had 700 killed and over 1,400 wounded, while Andy lost just 13 men and 30 wounded. The city of New Orleans, which first flew the American flag from the balcony of the Cabildo in 1803, was fully established as an American port. Unlike many other American cities, however, it's never lost its foreign flavor, as evidenced by this apartment house, the first of its kind ever built and still in use. The one place which has remained intact more than any other section of the city is right here. Whoever comes to New Orleans must come here, whether you be just a wanderer like ourselves or a more famous person such as Jenny Lind, Walt Whitman, and Oscar Wilde, Theodore Roosevelt, or Enrico Caruso. Yes, this is it, the famous French Quarter, Via Carré. Only about a mile square, it's located in the downtown section of the city. Although a great mixture of classes and races live here now, it derives its name from the fact that the French-speaking people originally settled here when the city was founded in 1717. The famous pirate Jean Lafitte operated this blacksmith shop with his brother in the French Quarter as a front for their smuggling activities. Some historians dispute the fact that Lafitte actually used this place, but it still makes a good story. The old building with its broken plaster and soft brick walls and colorful slate roofs is a notable landmark. In remembrance of those pirating days, one of the streets still known as Pirates Alley. Physically, the old French Quarter has changed very little, despite the passage of time. One of the modern innovations is the bohemian atmosphere, a sort of Greenwich Village where poets and playwrights and artists live and work. If it's atmosphere these artists are looking for, they can certainly find it here in this historic and yet almost dingy section of this city. And if it's good eating you want, you can also find it in the French Quarter in 100 different colorful restaurants, such as Brennan's. And of course, no trip to New Orleans would be complete without stopping at Antoine's, where you eat some of the world-famous specialties such as oysters Rockefeller or Pompano en Papote. There are hundreds of restaurants, all specializing in French, Creole, Spanish, or Italian dishes. After dinner and a trip to the theater or a walk around town, you can then go to the French market for coffee. With this kind of an environment, you can readily see why they call this the American Paris. A ride in an old-fashioned surrey is appropriate here. But no matter what you do when you come here, probably the greatest single attraction is the place itself. Although the people have changed considerably, the buildings, the architecture, the physical appearance of the French has remained much the same. The graveyards are strange because of the fact that it's close to sea level. The graves have to be built above ground. Some cases, unfortunately, some of the impressive crypts and tombs and mausoleums have been broken into. It seems strange that despite a century of immense changes all around it, much of the French Quarter of New Orleans remains unaltered. Especially the people, a great melting pot of dozens of different races and colors and creeds. One can almost feel the symphony of life as it goes on unchanged through the years in the French Quarter. The French Quarter is also not without its honky-tonk atmosphere. Those golden days of swashbuckling he-men and satin-clad young ladies who strolled gaily through the romantic atmosphere, arm in arm, or languidly sipped mint juleps on the porch of a Creole mansion are gone forever. Today, a wiggling waitress trying to get a little trade for her boss's bar is now the fashion of the day, the tempo of the time. The nights in New Orleans are a conflict of sight, sound, and emotion, jazz, the blues, bright lights, wild laughter. Then the morning, Zulu, the king of the Africans, is coming. And now we're ready to begin the event which New Orleans is probably most famous for, the Mardi Gras. How did it all begin? Well, first of all, the carnival of Mardi Gras, Louisiana style, has been celebrated ever since 1699, when Pierre Iberville came up the Mississippi River and founded Louisiana. Remembering that Mardi Gras was being celebrated in France, he gave that name to a place just 12 miles from the river's mouth. Of course, it took many years for the pageant to assume the form it does today. Here we see Queen Zulu riding by. When her husband came through the New Basin Canal at 10 o'clock this morning, that was the signal for the long carnival of Mardi Gras Day to commence. What is this world-famous pageant really like? It's almost unbelievable.
Well, up to now, you've seen New Orleans at its quiet moments, because Mardi Gras hasn't yet started. You've seen the historical background, Jean Lafitte, the French Quarter, the beauty and the wonderful things there are to see in the city itself. But prepare yourself, because that tempo increases. As Mardi Gras begins, the whole city bursts with excitement.
It's Mardi Gras time in New Orleans, and ruling over all is Rex, king of the carnival and lord of misrule. Altogether, scores of organizations form their own parade, each with their own king. But Rex, monarch of the day of carnival itself, is the only king who's not masked. People dress in all kinds of costumes. This is undoubtedly the most colorful festival in all America. Young and old join in on the fun. While the older folks parade, the kids enjoy some popcorn. This young fellow doesn't seem too happy about sharing it with his sister, though. The day of Mardi Gras occurs annually, exactly 40 days before Easter, not counting Sundays. The overall carnival season opens officially on January 6th each year and is marked by a succession of elaborate private balls. Then the actual Mardi Gras, starting 2 weeks before Fat Tuesday, climaxes the carnival season with a series of street parades in which thousands upon thousands of people participate. such as we're watching right now. Mardi Gras is not for any particular race or religion or age group. It's for everyone to enjoy. Groups parade through the streets during Mardi Gras Day. All business stops. Everyone joins in the festivity and pageantry, wearing their masks from dawn to dusk. When the masks are taken off, it's a hectic but a happy time. With their colorful costumes and zany antics, everybody has quite a time. Besides the gaiety and glamour of what many consider to be the greatest show on earth, Mardi Gras is also a full-time business for many New Orleans residents. Some $3 million are spent each year by the private, non-profit organizations which stage this 2.5-month pageant every year. The 70 elaborate dances, which begin 2 nights after Christmas and end on Mardi Gras night, range in costs from $5,000 to $30,000. And the score of parades run as high as $50,000 apiece. While many watch from the balconies and windows of homes and office buildings, the best place to view the proceedings is right on the street, where you can mingle with the crowds and feel the real spirit of carnival. All during the festival, various gods and goddesses are honored, such as Momus, the god of laughter, ridicule, and mockery; Hermes, the playboy of the mythological gods; and Adonis, the pretty boy who Venus fell in love with. Probably the most popular, at least with the folks who like to live it up a bit, is Comus, the god of festive joy and mirth, who is never without his wine cup. Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die. That's the old Omar Khayyam philosophy which prevails at Mardi Gras time. Now, the pace of the parade, the hectic activities, doesn't slacken during the night. The average parade consists of 20 different floats, with the masked captain of the organization with his aides riding on horses. One float is reserved for the king, one for the title or theme of the parade, and the remaining 18 interpret the theme with their glittering ornaments. A very important part of each parade consists in throwing favors from the floats. Whether it be trinkets or beads, it's considered good luck if you happen to catch one of them. To make the floats as brilliant as possible, the gold and silver leaves are attached in such a way as to reflect the greatest amount of light from the sun by day. At night, they're turned downward, thereby catching the bright glare of the torches, or flambeaux, as they're called. The end of the Comus Parade and Ball signifies the conclusion of the wonderful weeks of Mardi Gras. New Orleans returns to normal. While this may be a great metropolis of merriment and fun, men can't live on laughter alone. There's work to be done. Especially down at the dock, where inhabitants of old New Orleans are as proud of their heritage and traditions as the residents of the French Quarter. With the great Mississippi River making the harbor crescent-shaped, New Orleans was once called the Crescent City. This great American port is the most efficient in the nation, second only to New York in dollar volume. Serving as the outlet for the breadbasket of the world in our own Midwest, New Orleans leads the nation in the export of corn, wheat, flour, and cotton. It ranks high in the export of farm machinery and motor vehicles. It also ranks high in the import of rubber, leads all other harbors in the import of sugar, molasses, burlap, jute, and hemp. Bananas and coffee are also big shipping items on these massive docks and trains. 8 trunk-line railroads connect the port with the rich mid-continent and every large city in the United States. Except for the Civil War period, New Orleans has continued to reign as America's second greatest port. The statue of General Beauregard, situated here in the immense city park of New Orleans, a peaceful, restful place for the entire family to spend a pleasant afternoon, especially after the hectic Mardi Gras period. Now that the grown-ups have had their share of fun with us on Vagabond, it's time for the kids to take advantage of the frivolity which this city is so famous for. And what better place could they do it than right here at Children's Storyland. A king-size storybook. The amusement project was built with the financial aid and guidance of Park Director Harry Batt. All of the legendary characters of children's legends can be found in giant size in the park. From the ever-present elves to the famous Rub-a-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub. Poor Humpty Dumpty has probably taken more falls than a punch-drunk prize fighter, but he's still in one piece for everybody to look at. Any grown-up can have some fun here, and most of them do, but it's still primarily for the children, and that's the main reason for pointing it out. So as on all of our shows, you can have an overall picture of the place we're visiting. Now, for the young lovers in our audience, especially those who might come to New Orleans during the romantic Mardi Gras season, we have this suggestion. If during the previous night your companion became enthralled with the spirit of Mardi Gras and made grand declarations of love and admiration, well, you might as well take them for a stroll the next day in the park if he or she still feels the same way. Then, like the city of New Orleans itself, it will be a romance that has a lasting, permanent effect.
Well, we had so gosh darn much fun that we just had to bring some of Mardi Gras back home with us. You'll do the same thing, too, if you ever visit New Orleans during Mardi Gras time. Perhaps you'd like a few tips about going down there. Make your reservations well in advance of Mardi Gras time, because most all the hotels, motels, and what have you in New Orleans are crowded. You can write the New Orleans Chamber of Commerce. They'll be glad to pass any information along with you. Well, if you've enjoyed Mardi Gras and our party with us, if you've had fun being with us, then you have the true spirit of a vagabond.